At the bottom end of the scalable performance line, there is the simple industrial Ethernet switch Scalance X005. Its typical application area are small autonomous industrial Ethernet island networks with short cable lengths, for example within a manufacturing cell or a control cabinet. Unlike a hub, which is a simple distributor of incoming data to all ports, the Scalance X005 is a full-fledged switch which transmits messages only to those stations for which they are intended. This allows you to keep several transmission paths simultaneously open and to make use of the full performance at all times. This functionality is housed in a robust and compact casing. Protection to IP30 ensures its suitability for industrial use. Because of its variety of installation options, the Scalance X005 always finds its place inside a control cabinet, on a top hat rail, on an S7-300 rail, or in various positions directly on the wall. The station connections are equipped with a retaining collar designed to take up the rugged Fast Connect plugs. The plugs are snapped into place on the housing and provide extra strain and bend relief. In terms of compactness and fitness for industrial use, the Scalance X100 line is identical with the Scalance X005. The two systems differ mainly in the number and design of the network connections. Depending on the version, 4 to 24 electrical and in combination up to 2 optical ports are available. In addition, the devices have their own simple diagnostic mechanisms. The ports to be monitored are selected from the current link status by pressing a button, just like the monitoring of the redundant power supply. Error diagnostics are possible on the one hand locally through LEDs and on the other hand by a wire breakproof signal contact. In addition to compact space-saving structures, Scalance X100 devices also allow you to build up lines tailored to the plant structure. In particular, it is possible to bridge high interference areas or large distances of up to several kilometers by optical fiber sections. The media converters of the Scalance X100 product line are the ideal solution for realizing various optical and electrical transmission media within industrial Ethernet topologies. The design of the unmanaged media converters is based on the Scalance X100 switches. Scalance X1011 and X1011LD are suitable for realizing an electrical on an optical fast Ethernet for multi- and single-mode optical fiber connections, i.e. for connecting a remote electrical device to an optical tree or star structure. The Scalance X1011 POF, with a very easy-to-assemble SCRJ connection system, is suitable for converting an electrical into an optical fast Ethernet using cost-efficient POF and PCF optical fibers. For connecting an existing optical 10 megabit per second segment to an electrical fast Ethernet, the Scalance X1011FL with multi-mode optical fiber is used. The Scalance X1011AUI is employed for connecting an older 10-base-5 network with AUI interface, for example a SIMATIC S5 via CNEC H1 to an electrical fast Ethernet. Physically, the devices of the Scalance X200 line are no different from those of the X100 line. Network connections, redundant power supply, set button, and local diagnostics are identical. The differences consist first of all in the extended diagnostic features, either by web-based management, by the SNMP protocol, or via Profinet. Web-based management allows easy access to diagnostic information of the Scalance X200 device via intranet or internet using a web browser. Information on ports and their link status can be easily retrieved, and various remote device settings made. The devices also support the SNMP network management protocol, which is normally used in corporate networks for remote diagnostics. Diagnostic information can be called up either directly using a network management program or integrated into a visualization scheme via an SNMP OPC server. For diagnostics within the automation network, the Scalance X200 devices support Profinet diagnostics. They are fully integrated into SIMATIC Step 7 for that purpose. The devices listed in the hardware config catalog are available for configuration. From there, they are inserted into the configuration where the individual diagnostic parameters can be set. A link down in a port or a failure of the redundant power supply can be detected quite easily using the Profinet diagnostic function of a SIMATIC S7 CPU in hardware config, or a standard visualization scheme. Another feature of the Scalance X200 switches is the possibility to use it in ring structures. Network availability can be dramatically increased by passive ring redundancy in a ring with high-speed redundancy, i.e. switchover times of less than 300 milliseconds. Since ring ports are freely configurable, both electrical and optical sections can be implemented within a ring. In addition to saving the parameter settings internally in the Scalance X200 device, the C-plug removable storage medium can be used which holds all parameter settings of the device. This allows a rapid exchange of devices in case of a failure. You only have to plug the C-plug from the failed device into the replacement device, and everything continues as before. Finally, the Scalance X200 line offers some designs for special applications. In order to achieve the high degree of protection IP65, all connections of the Scalance X208 Pro are designed as screw-type M12 connectors. In combination with the power supply, which also has protection to IP65 and ET200 Pro, complete sub-networks can be built up outside the control cabinet. With its isochronic real-time communication, Profinet offers a feature for clock-synchronized control of a great number of drives. In the paper industry, for instance, the speed of up to 100 drives can be changed within a millisecond. For the use of IRT communication, the Scalance X200 range offers different variants with electrical, partly, and merely optical ports. These devices allow IT communication and real-time communication simultaneously on the same line. Acyclic time uncritical transmission of parameters, configuration, and diagnostic data based on TCP/IP. Real-time communication for the transmission of cyclic time-critical process data, as with Profibus DP, and isochronic real-time communication IRT for clock-synchronized data transmission, especially in the field of motion control. Optical network structures for short distances are nowadays designed using plastic optical fibers such as polymer optical fiber, POF, and polymer cladded fiber, PCF. With the new SCRJ connection system, the IRT switches X200 4P IRT, X201 3P IRT, and X202 2P IRT offer interfaces for these optical fibers. The advantage here is a very fast and very simple fiber optical cabling for machine-based application. SIMATIC Net offers suitable assembly kits for POF and PCF systems. The POF and PCF IRT switches contain optical fiber diagnostic functions, which at an early stage recognize possible damping changes on the fiber, for example due to mechanical stress, and prevent line failure. In addition to the standard port LEDs, these switches have diagnostic LEDs for optical ports. Furthermore, the damping curve can be visualized via a web-based management mask. As a Profinet I/O device, the line diagnostics of a POF IRT switch is, of course, also fully integrated into Step 7. Apart from the usual switching mechanism, store and forward, all X200 IRT switches additionally use the cut-through mechanism time optimized for throughput, which considerably reduces the delay time by the switch. Apart from the real-time requirement of Profinet I/O, the X200 IRT switches also fulfill the stringent requirement of Profinet IRT. Additionally, the IRT switches can be employed as redundancy manager with high-speed redundancy in ring topologies. The connected line is monitored via the ring ports. As an alternative to the redundancy manager mode, the X200 IRT switches can be employed for a redundant linking of two network segments. One switch is configured as standby master, whereas the other is configured as standby slave. The most versatile devices in the Scalance X range are the modular switches of the X400 product family, Scalance X44143E and Scalance X482. Their scope of application ranges from supporting high-performance redundant optical or electrical gigabit ring topologies on the one hand, to the interface between automation network and company network with VLANs, rapid spanning tree protocol, IGMP, and for X44143E layer 3 routing on the other. In the following section, we show you the design of an X4082 and an X4143E. The basic device of a Scalance X4082 consists of a backplane with a fixed-mounted power and CPU module. Due to the power module in slot 2, the Scalance X4082 has a redundant power supply, a potential free signal contact used to monitor the supply voltage or a faulty link status of a port, a Select Set button for configuration, and a C plug for a configuration backup. On the CPU module, slot 3, there are 4 status LEDs. On slot 8, there is a serial RS-232 interface for configuration of the switch using a command interpreter and for an update of the switch firmware. The basic equipment of the Scalance X4082 includes 4 electrical fast Ethernet ports on slot 8 and a total of 4 electrical gigabit ports on slots 5 and 6. 2 of these ports can be configured as ring ports. By plugging media modules, the 4 electrical gigabit ports can be reset to optical gigabit Ethernet or fast Ethernet connections. The respective single-mode or multi-mode types can be employed as media modules. Like the switches of the Scalance X200 product line, the Scalance X4082 is fully integrated in Step 7 as Profinet device. The X4082 can be added to the configuration from the hardware catalog and be diagnosed via Step 7. The basic device of the Scalance X4143E consists of the power module, the digital input module, and the switch CPU. The power module in slot 2 provides the Scalance X4143E with a redundant power supply, a floating signal contact, and status LEDs. The digital input module in slot 3 allows you to import data from signal contacts of other devices, such as temperature sensors or monitoring switches such as door contacts, into the diagnostic data of the Scalance X443E. In addition to the configuration and monitoring of functions, such as ring redundancy, the switch CPU module is equipped with a serial interface and an autonomous LAN interface for switch configuration and diagnostics. In this way, the device is accessible even during a network overload situation. Here again, the C-plug removable storage medium is available for a rapid exchange of devices in case of a failure. In its basic version, the Scalance X4143E is equipped with 2 electrical gigabit ports, which can be configured, for instance, as ring ports for a high-speed ring. An optical gigabit module in this slot allows data transmission using multi-mode or single-mode optical fiber. Slots 6 and 7, which are at first empty, can be equipped with 2 optical fast Ethernet media modules with 2 ports each. Last but not least, the basic device provides 4 electrical fast Ethernet ports in each of the last 3 slots. Where the ports of the basic device are not sufficient, the Scalance X443E offers 2 alternative expansion modules. These expansion modules add to the basic device either 8 electrical fast Ethernet ports, or, if media modules are used, up to 8 optical fast Ethernet ports. When fully equipped, the Scalance X443E thus offers on the one hand 2 electrical or optical gigabit ports, and on the other hand up to 20 electrical fast Ethernet ports and up to 12 optical fast Ethernet ports. The local diagnostics LEDs provide information about the device and the ports, depending on the mode selected. For all Scalance X400s, this information is also available for remote access via web-based management, where an exact image of the LEDs is provided. The current port status, the transmission rate, the duplex mode or the port monitoring can be viewed at a click of the mouse. Just like Scalance X200, the Scalance X400s provide various configuration and diagnostic options via web-based management. Configuration of the diagnostics via SNMP is possible, just as retrieval of an event log table. A special feature of the switches of the Scalance X400 product line is that they support Office IT standards, which makes them the ideal interface between automation and company networks. VLANs or virtual LANs, the Rapid Spanning Tree Protocol, IGMP snooping, and IP routing for X4143E. The segmentation of a LAN used to require the setup of several parallel networks, all with their own distributors and separate cable paths. In contrast, VLANs, i.e. virtual LANs, are logical networks which are simulated by switches and are all based on one and the same physical network. VLANs require much less cabling while providing the full communication bandwidth, as well as protection against outside access, since communication is limited to the stations of the VLAN. Whether a port of a Scalance X4143E or X4082 is part of the VLANs is simply defined by software parameter settings. The Scalance X4143E can also be configured as a Layer 3 router, which enables interconnecting different IP subnets. The Scalance X4143E can manage the standard router protocols RIPv2 and OSPF-v2, which enables synchronizing the configuration with other routers in the network. In comparison to ring topologies with very short reconfiguration times, which are very common in automation networks, the support of the rapid spanning tree protocol allows multiple redundant connections and direct integration into existing office networks. Although meshed communication networks provide alternative connections in case of a connection failure, such a situation leads to the creation of loops which multiply the messages transferred. Therefore, the rapid spanning tree protocol temporarily deactivates in a first step all redundant connections, starting from a defined network node and taking into account the efficiency of the individual connections. The failure of a network is detected in a very short time by a kind of live message, and the system switches over automatically to the next favorable alternative connection. The transmission of multicast messages, i.e. messages from one sender to many receivers, can easily cause high network loads. To limit the network load, Scalance X400 switches support IGMP snooping and querying for the filtering of multicast messages. Using the IGMP messages join and leave, network stations can log on and off to the switch for a certain multicast group, so that they receive the respective multicast data, such as video or audio streams, only if required. Since it supports virtual LANs, IP routing, the rapid spanning tree protocol, and multicast filtering, the Scalance X400 product line is ideally suited for use as an interface between the automation network and the office network.